The next thing we're going to do is bring the Arduino into our design where we now have our square base that we gave height to that was shown in the previous video. So first thing is to open up the Arduino file by double clicking on it in the data panel. And I had already hidden the parts that were on the board, but it's likely that when you first look at this file you're going to see these components on the board, and we don't really need them because they're not necessary for designing the test fixture that we want to design. So just to get them out of the way, you can just turn off the icon next to bodies, and that gets rid of those parts. Now one thing you want to check just to make sure is that this board, along with the connectors that are still on the board, are all one piece. So to do that, just click the move icon and make sure that components is in this window here. Okay, if it's something else, select components and then click on the blue board and then just move the board to make sure everything moves together. Okay, as you see here, I've seen cases where when you go to move the board, well, the blue board moves, but some of the connectors don't move. And if that's the case, okay, to make everything move together, you can come up to Assemble and then choose Rigid Group, and then just choose all the components. Okay, you just highlight them. You just highlight all these. I think I got that message because I didn't click on the right thing. And then once all the components are highlighted, then you just click OK. And if everything wasn't moving together before that, it should after you make it a rigid group. Okay, and this is the same thing if you had the Uno. Okay, so you know what I'm about to show you, the steps are the same for the Uno. I think there's one exception, and when it comes up I'll tell you about it. Alright, but once you have done this, just go ahead and close the Arduino file. And now we're going to insert the Arduino where our base is, okay, into this same file that we're working on. So to do that, you just come over in the data panel to your Arduino and do a right click and then choose Insert into Current Design. Alright, and you can see that it put the Arduino in at a vertical angle, you know, perpendicular to our base. Why it does that I'm not exactly sure, but what we're going to do next is we're going to rotate the Arduino board 90 degrees. Okay, so you just rotate it like this until we're at 90 degrees, right there. And the next thing we want to do is we want to align the Arduino board so that it's 3 millimeters above the base, and the front edge of the Arduino board is also aligned with the front edge of our base. So let's see, to do that, the first thing I think we're going to have to do is raise this board. Let's see if we can move it. Yeah, we're just going to raise it up some so I can see the bottom of it. Yeah, so let's change our view here. So we're going to align. So under Modify, here's Align. And when you align, you choose two surfaces that you want to align. So we're going to choose the bottom of the Arduino, okay, the bottom of that Arduino board. We're going to have to change our view here to select the top of this chassis base. Okay, so say OK. So now, okay, if we take a look at this, you can see that it put that board right on top of the base. Now, we don't want it right on top. We want to give some clearance because we're going to have this board actually sitting on some standoffs, you know, once we have our test fixture designed. So we want to go back to the move and choose the blue here, the blue part of the board, and choose the up arrow. And we're going to raise the board 3 millimeters above the base surface, top surface. So here we just want to put in 3. Alright, so now when you look at it, you see it raised that Arduino board 3 millimeters above the base. Alright, but we're not done yet because we also want to line up these front edges. Okay, the front edge of the Arduino with the front edge of our base. So to do that, we're going to use a line again, and we're going to zoom in. So let's go up to modify, align. Okay, and let's zoom in here. So I want to choose that edge, and I want to align it with this edge of the base. Alright, so let's zoom back here and change our view just to see what we have. You see, that's what I want. Alright, you want it so you know, the board and the base are parallel, and the board is 3 millimeters above the top surface of the base, and that the front edges are lined up. Okay? Alright, the next thing we're going to do is bring in the 1-inch square printed circuit board and align it in the same fashion, and I'll do that in the next video.